Hi, I'm Rosie of Barnet TV and today we're at Barnet Museum, so let's go have a look inside. So Mike, could you tell us how long you've been working at Barnet Museum and what your role is here?
I've been working in Barnet Museum, I've been volunteering in Barnet Museum for about 11 years. My role is I'm the curator of the museum and also the treasurer of Barnet Museum Local History Society. I'm also one of the trustees, but that comes with the job.
What made you want to work at Barnet Museum?
I've always been interested in history, but usually national history and international history. I was a member. A neighbour of mine gave me membership as a present once, and then she told the people in charge that I'd been an auditor before I took early retirement, and then someone said, "Well, auditor can do the treasurer work," and so I sort of got volunteered to be the treasurer, and that's stuck ever since.
What is Barnet Museum's origin story?
To go into the history of Barnet Museum, we have to go a little bit before the Barnet Museum. It was in 1927, a local resident wrote to Barnet Press saying that he felt that Barnet was going to hell in a hanging basket, that lots of things were being lost and lots of history, and people needed to keep documents about Barnet. And he and a few others started Barnet Record Society. And very soon they had to change that because people thought records are gramophone records. Yeah. And that confused. So it became Barnet and District Local History Society in 1927 onwards. And then in 1938 they collected so much stuff, so many artefacts which were displayed in school halls and council offices, that they decided to put it together in a museum, and they opened Barnet Museum in March 1938 in this very building in 1938. And it went from there. During the war, the building was bombed, so luckily the artefacts were saved, stored elsewhere. The building was bombed, and when it was rebuilt, the building next door was sold by the council. This building was paid for a bit by the value of the building next door, and it developed. And then in 2000, we're a charity, by the way, so we are independent, and the council reviewed the museums, and we managed to get this building, the freehold of this building is now with the council, but they've given us a long-term rent-free stay, so a long-term lease, 125-year lease. So that's in a nutshell the history of.
What sort of exhibitions take place at Barnet Museum?
Well, we've got largely permanent exhibits. We've got, I'll go in the rooms, domestic items given to us by Barnet people over the years, laundry, kitchen, cleaning, that kind of equipment. Downstairs we've got costumes, toys, dolls, again given to us by Barnet people. Upstairs we've got a general run of history, which is World War I, World War II, the pubs, the hospitals, the High Street, Barnet Football Club, a bit about Hadley Wood, which is in our kind of catchment area. And we've got a room done out as a Victorian or sort of Victorian salon, which is the time when Barnet took off as a suburb, really. But another thing we've got, which is the room we're in at the moment, is our medieval and an older history here. And that focuses a lot on one of the most important events that happened locally, was the Battle of Barnet in 1471, which was actually more national history than local history. But we've got displays on that because it's such an important part of Barnet history.
What's the average day like at Barnet Museum?
Well, it's not much of an average day actually at Barnet Museum. We are open from on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday afternoons, and all day Saturday and Sunday afternoons. Sometimes we get very few visitors. Other times we get inundated. It's very difficult to predict. When we are close to the public, so those are the times we're open to the public. When we're close to the public, we have a lot of activities. We have schools come to us, other groups, things like U3A and Scouts come to us. The groups up to 30 people. We also, one of our major projects is, as part of the commemoration of the Battle of Barnet, we painted banners which went up on the High Street. At the moment we've painted 90 banners, 77 of which went up on the high street lampposts. And they were up for 6 months, took an absolute battering. So a lot of the time we have to refurbish them. So on Mondays, we spend time refurbishing the banners, and you'll see a couple of them hanging while they dry, the paint dries, and they're hanging in the museum.
What events are Barnet Museum associated with?
Well, there are not many events, especially, but the biggest one we've been associated with is the Medieval Festival. And the Medieval Festival, again, was to celebrate the Battle of Barnet, or commemorate the Battle of Barnet, as it's been celebrated. At that event, we got about 6,000 people coming over 2 days. Barnet Museum initiated the event in 2017. We had a small event outside the museum in the back. Now it's a bigger reenactment, hundreds of reenactors. In 2018, we had the festival. 2019, another one, and then in 2020 it was called off because of COVID, and it was postponed until September 2021. And 2021 was quite an important year because it was the 550th anniversary of the Battle of Barnet. So the museum, even though we're not now involved in we still give advice. So we started, so we have a little bit of feeling towards it. The museum focuses on history and education, and leaves some of the other kind of things to other people.
How does the volunteer system work at Barnet Museum?
Well, we have we're, as I said, we're a charity. We have volunteers working for us. We've got about 50 volunteers actually, but they come in sort of one day at a time. We've got a core of deputy curators and key holders, and then we've got volunteers who come as and when. But we generally have 2 or 3 a day working in sessions. But and then a lot of volunteers do research. So when the museum is quiet, we're not doing nothing. We actually are doing research. There's a lot of admin work to be done. Things like restoring the archive, keeping all those things up to date. We've got lots and lots of stuff in the museum. In fact, we've got a storeroom downstairs which is overflowing. So really, one of the things we probably need is an extension. But that's a story for another day.
How did COVID impact the museum?
It didn't impact us financially like many places, because we're a charity. We don't charge, so we don't have huge differing overheads. So we still had to pay for the alarm, the electricity and stuff like that, but we didn't have anything that hit us because of demand. However, we did a lot more online work, and we online queries, we issued online statements, and then and also we also published 4 books actually. 2 local history journals, and a book on the 100th anniversary of the War Memorial, Chipping Barnet War Memorial, which analysed the whole history of the War Memorial. And then this book, which is the Battle of Barnet in Fact and Fiction, which gives the story of the Battle of Barnet, and also includes bits of fiction about the Battle of Barnet over the years. So it's fact and fiction, and you can have a copy as well.
Oh, lovely. Follow you on social media to keep updated.
We've got a Facebook page, Barnet Museum, Facebook/Barnet Museum. We've got a Twitter account, which is @MuseumBarnet, and we've got our website, which is www.barnetmuseum.co.uk. So those are the main 3. I think we've also got an Instagram, but one of our younger members keeps that up, and some of us don't know what Instagram is actually, but we have got an Instagram account.